So Kim Wallach is going to sing the Ballad of Erica Levine, and so I'm going to do a little intro about my history with the song, and then Kim's going to do a little intro because she has an important part of the history of this song too. So my intro is from my diary when I was in 4th grade, and I found this piece about the song where January 6th entry from 1982. Hi, it's almost about time to go to school. My father has written a song called Erica Levine. Today after school, I'm going to hear Frankie Armstrong perform it at a restaurant. I'm not quite sure how famous this Frankie Armstrong is, but I think it will be fun. The only trouble is that first my father has an appointment with Dr. Jones, his psychiatrist. I have to sit in the waiting room, which is boring, etc. So, but then, not that there was anything, seemingly controversial in this, but moving on to the next part about the song. It turns out, this is from the next day, it turns out that Frankie Armstrong is a woman. She's English. She's a really good singer. We talked to her after the performance, and she told my father that she wants to make a record with his song in it. He was so happy. It's funny to see him so happy. He giggles a lot and skips around. I love my father a lot.
Thank you, Jen. I met Bob on a contra dance cruise in Boston Harbor about 1980. And I had just done a yodeling duet with Todd Whittemore, who was the dance caller and who ran the cruise. And we had just finished, and then this guy with kind of a curly beard and hair and big glasses sat down at the piano and started to play. And everybody's thinking, who is that? What's he doing? What does he think is going on here? And Bob said, well, since there seems to be some kind of an impromptu talent show going on, and we were thinking, no, there isn't. And then he started to sing the most wonderful song I had ever heard. And it was this. And so I went from thinking, oh my God, who are you? To, oh my God, who are you? So I begged him to teach me this song. It's too loud for me. And he did, and I proceeded to memorize it and sing it everywhere I went for the next, 40 years. So I taught it to Frankie Armstrong at a pilot, and I took it out to the West Coast with me that year, I think, and taught it to a bunch of people out there too. And then much, much later, and I don't know how true this is, because Bob just liked to make people feel good, and sometimes he would tell you something because he knew it would make you feel good, even if it wasn't necessarily true. And he said, I think you're in the song. And I said, what do you mean, Bob? He said, I think you're the piano teacher. He said, one of my students was taking guitar lessons from you, and she was talking about you. And I think you're the piano teacher. So, maybe. I knew I liked the song. When Erica Levine was 7.5, up to her door, you can sing along, up to her door came Jason Metcalf, and he said, will you marry me, Erica Levine? And Erica Levine said, what do you mean? Well, my mother and my father say a fella ought to marry, and my father said his brother, who is my Uncle Larry, never married, and he said, Uncle Larry is a dope, so will you marry me? Said Erica, nope. My piano teacher's smart, and she never had to marry. Your father may be right about your Uncle Larry, but not being married isn't what made him a dope. Don't ask me again, 'cause my answer's nope. When Erica Levine was 17, she went to the prom with Joel Bernstein, and they danced by the light of a sparkling bobby sock, 'cause the theme of the prom was the history of rock. And after the prom, Joel kissed her at the door, and he said, do you know what that kiss was for? And she said, no, I don't, but you kissed just fine. And he said, what it means is says that you are mine. And she said, no, I'm not. And she rushed inside. And on the way home, Joel Bernstein cried. And she cried too, and wrote a letter to Liz, saying, this much I know, I'm mine, not his. When Erica Levine was 23, her lover said, Erica, marry me. This relationship is answering a basic need, and I'd like to have it legally guaranteed. For without your precious love, I would surely die. So why don't we make it legal? Said Erica, why? Basic needs your age should be met by you. I'm your lover, not your mother. Let's be careful what we do. For if ever I should marry, I will marry to grow, not for tradition or protection or possession, no. I love you, but your needs are a very different issue. Then he cried, and Erica handed him a tissue. When Erica was 30, she was talking with Lou, discussing and deciding what they wanted to do. When we marry, should we move into your place or mine? Yours is rent controlled, but mine is on the green line. And they argued and they talked, and they finally didn't care. So they rented an apartment near Harvard Square. Their wedding was a simple one, they wanted it that way. And they thought a lot about the things that they would choose to say. I will live with you and love you, but I'll never call you mine. The judge pronounced them married, and everyone had wine. And a happy ever after life is not the sort they got, but they tended to be happy.